The Fox Virginia News at 10 is next tonight. Earlier today, a suspicious man was carrying a large weapon in public, leading the schools in Madison County to go on a lockdown. We've got the details.
Oportunidades son para todos.
Because opportunities are for everyone, for all the families.
Well, Southwood Redevelopment Project is getting an apartment upgrade. We'll tell you when construction will happen.
And this weekend, we remember Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for his courage as he fought for change in America. We'll tell you how the city of Charlottesville and Albemarle County plan to honor him. It's 10 o'clock, time for your Fox Virginia News.
Now, Fox Virginia News at 10.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Alexia Williams.
And I'm Ashley Brooks. We're going to come back to those stories in just a minute, but first, here's Travis with your Fast Cast.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
After sunshine this morning, the rain moved in around 4 o'clock this afternoon, and it's starting to ease around the area. Rainfall averages about a ½ inch across most of Central Virginia. Of course, some places seeing more and less than that amount, just a benchmark, if you will. But the rain winding down with just some leftover showers now about to move through Central Virginia. The steady soaking stuff is on its way out, so I think from this point on, it'll be a much easier go, and it should be a little drier. I think all the stuff is out of here by midnight. Right now, 45 degrees in Charlottesville, 44 in Madison, 45 in Scottsville, upper 30s in Harrisonburg and Stanton. I do think we settle around 40 in Charlottesville. Skies will actually clear out a bit after midnight, and then for tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a high 48 degrees, but it will be a little breezy throughout the day, so it's going to feel a little cooler than thermometers indicate. Keep that in mind if you've got outdoor plans. Saturday looks good. What about Sunday? What about snow next week? Talk about all that in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Travis. Our top story tonight in Madison County, schools were put on lockdown this morning after someone was spotted carrying a, quote, large weapon. The sheriff's office says that the person was carrying a weapon near the court and might have been headed to the nearby Autumn Care. That person was located at 9:20 this morning, and schools resumed normal activities. Fox Virginia went to the sheriff's office for more details, but the sheriff told us that he had no further comment.
In Louisa County, a man from Madison County convicted of murder from May of last year. The Commonwealth's attorney announcing that David Branham of Madison was found guilty of killing Alex Brown in the Blue Ridge Shores community. This happened over a custody dispute. Branham waited at the home of Brown's mother and ambushed him with a shotgun after a child custody hearing. Branham will be sentenced April 13th. He faces life in prison.
Charlottesville police need your help in finding a suspect who they say assaulted 2 women on the Rivanna Trail today. The first call came in around 10 a.m. reporting a woman had been assaulted on the trail between Riverside Park and Free Bridge. Police searched for a suspect but were unable to find one. Then a second report of assault came in around 2:40 from the same location. Neither victims were physically injured. The suspect is described as a thin white man around 20 or 30 years old, 6'2" in height. He was described as wearing a brown puffy jacket in one incident and black pants and a sweatshirt in the second. If you have any information, please contact Crime Stoppers.
A truly tragic story now. One Stannersville mother is mourning the loss of her only 2 children who died in a house fire in West Virginia last week. The fire claimed the lives of 5 people, including 4 children, all under the age of 5. 3-year-old Abilene and 2-year-old Jace were born in Elkton, Virginia, and lived in Stannersville with their mother, Megan. She remembers them as the light of her life. They were her only 2 biological children.
She loved her little brother, Jace. They were definitely best friends, would fight like brothers and sisters.
She says she remembers Abilene for her love of dancing and music and makeup. She would have been 4 at the end of this month. And Jace was her wild one, she said, who loved trucks and tractors. If you're interested in donating to the family to help with funeral costs, you can find more information on our website.
January is National Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and here in Virginia, back in 2021, 140 people were identified as victims of the criminal trade. Now one local group wants all of us to know the signs of trafficking.
The Transformation Freedom Initiative. It's one of the organizations that make up the Charlottesville-Albemarle Human Trafficking Task Force. Fox Virginia's Garrett Witten has this report.
This is the second largest and fastest growing criminal industry in the U.S. Anna Null, director of the Transformation Freedom Initiative, says 199 is the latest number of Virginia human trafficking victims and survivors who called in themselves to report what they've gone through.
But when talking about statistics, we always have to understand that what we know is a lot lower than the reality.
She says it's because it can happen anywhere.
It can happen in restaurants, it can happen in settings like, agricultural industries, but it also can happen in more hidden ways. Often it's domestic workers like nannies and cleaners.
It's why TFI, one of the organizations that makes up the Charlottesville-Albemarle Human Trafficking Task Force, aims to increase awareness about human trafficking in Central Virginia so that people can identify it and report it.
Because this crime is one that is so easily covered up, a lot of victims don't self-identify, and people around them don't always know what they're looking at.
How do you come across cases?
It's really up to our community.
Detective Michael Schneider with the Albemarle County Police Department says to look out for specific signs.
If you see children that someone else has like their driver's license or just their like student ID card or holding all of their IDs or holding any type of funds from them, if they've seen where they're wearing the same clothes over and over again, where nobody's really caring for them. They seem malnourished, where they're just not eating as well, or someone's always doing the talking for them.
Schneider says to keep your eyes open on your community, and if you have the sense something is happening, just make a report. He says even if it turns out to be nothing, at least they had a chance to look into it. Garrett Witten, Fox Virginia News.
In Louisa County, people are starting to see some construction happening at the intersection of Route 522 and 208. VDOT is starting construction on a roundabout at the intersection in front of the Dickinson store to help with the flow of traffic in the area, especially in the warmer months. This is one of the most dangerous intersections in Virginia and can become relatively busy in the summer months as thousands of people come in to visit Lake Anna. Lou Hatter, who works for VDOT, says that they are putting a roundabout here instead of a stoplight because the stoplight did not reach criteria. Also, Hatter says that a roundabout is much safer.
Roundabouts are also safer because if you think about an intersection that's controlled with either a stop sign or a traffic signal, typically you have traffic flowing at highway speed on the one leg of it, and then someone who is trying to enter from a stop sign or when the light turns green, they're at a slow speed. And so if there's a crash, there tends to be a high speed involved. With a roundabout, everyone has to slow down as they approach the roundabout by virtue of the design of the roundabout itself. You have to slow down in order to negotiate the approach and the entrance to the roundabout.
And that roundabout will be in construction throughout the summer months and will be finished in early December. The Southwood redevelopment project in Albemarle County is taking another step forward.
Today, a groundbreaking for the Hickory Hope Apartments. Our Fox Virginia's Felicity Taylor was there and has the latest on the project.
This empty field you're looking at won't be empty for long. In the next 16 months, a big apartment building will shoot right up. It's the next phase in the Southwood redevelopment project. The Hickory Hope Apartments will be 2 buildings marking the entrance to the new community, which will be home to over 1,000 families when completed.
These 121 apartments are part of a full vision for affordable rentals, affordable home ownership, market rate rentals, a fully mixed income community.
Beautiful.
Roger Torres has lived in Southwood for 19 years. He moved out of his mobile home and into his home with his wife just a few weeks ago.
Oportunidades son para todos.
Because opportunities are for everyone, for all the families.
Torres hopes more people will come live in Southwood as they build more homes.
Necesita que esto crezca.
So we need that this community grows.
Sunshine Mathen with the Piedmont Housing Alliance says it took 4 years of logistics to get to this day. Construction is set to begin this month. In Albemarle County, Felicity Taylor, Fox Virginia News.
Well, looking ahead to this weekend, the city of Charlottesville and Albemarle County are partnering to celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the 60th anniversary of the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 with a 3-mile walk through historical monuments on Sunday. Now, this walk will be an opportunity to learn about local history and how it impacts life in the city today. The walk will depart from the Albemarle County Office Building at noon this Sunday.
A massive winter storm is bringing blizzard-like conditions, severe weather, and potential flooding to much of the Midwest and the East Coast.
And potentially causing problems for millions of Americans. We'll tell you how bad it can get after your local weather authority forecast. Travis.
At least locally, the system's winding down. I think the rain's out of here by midnight. The weekend following, looking okay. Snow next week. Talk about it after this.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
Thanks so much for joining us in the Fox Virginia News at 10 o'clock. JES Skyline Network cam time lapse that show had sunshine this morning. Clouds moved in midday. It was cloudy this afternoon and right around 4 or 5 o'clock when the raindrops started. Rain has been heavy at times, but nothing concerning. Average rainfall about a ½ inch across the area. 5,400, it's a little more than a ½ inch at the airport in Charlottesville, about the same in Farmville, 1/4 inch in Stanton and Hot Springs. Heavy hitter I found in northern Nelson County, just to the south of the Albemarle County line, about 8,700. So nothing over an inch today. No reports of any flooding. That's probably the best news, particularly in the wake of the sogginess we had last Tuesday. Still some light to moderate showers stretching from Nelson County through Charlottesville into Orange and Greene and Madison counties. I think by midnight, all this stuff is out of here. We'll actually clear the sky after midnight, and temperatures will settle around the 40-degree mark. It's been a very juicy system. As mentioned, we had snow, very windy conditions in the upper Midwest as well as the Great Lakes. But for us, nothing of the frozen variety, and that kind of holds for much of the extended forecast. Doesn't look as though we're going to be in for a whole lot next Tuesday. Flood watch still in effect for most of the area, but again, I don't expect a whole lot of concern with flooding given that the last of the rain is out of here and we haven't had anything more than an inch in terms of rainfall totals. Right now, 43 outside of Rye Road Studio, 40 atop Carter Mountain. Shows at 45, and even consistency with among our 3 rainfall totals at our 3 reporting stations with about a ½ inch. Elsewhere, temperatures 39 Stanton, 54 in Richmond, much warmer to the east of us, and the warmth, it's going away. We're going to notice a decline in temperatures over the next 7 across central Virginia. So Saturday, you're waking up at sunrise, temperatures around 40 degrees. Not much change in our temperatures through the afternoon, 47 degrees at 2 p.m. But we get a full day of sunshine. We also get breezy conditions. It's not going to be very windy, but the breeze will add a little extra chill, so plan accordingly if you're going to be outdoors for any period of time. Futurecast showing skies clear, and then we're clear with lows around freezing Saturday night. Futurecast paints a wisp of clouds and some flurries later on Sunday. I'm not entirely sold on that, so I think we're going to call it mostly sunny on Sunday. Then on Monday, next storm system approaches, you get clouds for much of the day, and then after sunset, a couple rain, snow showers, but nothing significant. Tuesday, we're still keeping watch, but that system looks to be pushing farther south and east. So I don't think at this point we get anything, but that, of course, is still subject to change. Tonight, lows around 40, clearing skies late, 48 your high on Saturday in Charlottesville, 49 for Orange, Dillon at 50, 46 in Crozet with breezy conditions all around. Cardinal Home Center extended forecast. So most of Martin Luther King Jr. Day will be dry, but look at the temperatures for the first part of next week. Mid to upper 30s from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, overnight lows in the teens, and even so, we barely muster lower 40s next Thursday and Friday. So next week will be a little more January-like, at least January to the point of what we probably expect this time of year.
Right. Well, even if we don't have a lot of snow or any snow, I'll still be dressing like it.
That's
for
true.
Sure. Yeah.
And this is good for wintergreen and Massanutten.
That's right.
Get those snow guns going.
That's right.
Rock and roll.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Travis.
Across the nation now, millions of Americans across the entire country are under weather alerts. The severe weather is hitting states still reeling from earlier storms this week. This system bringing blizzard-like conditions, heavy rains, and even tornadoes.
As Jen Sullivan reports, the deja vu storms could cripple travel as we head into the holiday weekend.
A massive winter storm is sweeping across the U.S. Weather alerts issued in every state from the West Coast to the East Coast. In Iowa, these whiteout conditions blinding drivers on I-80 just days ahead of the Iowa caucuses. Parts of the state getting up to 7 inches of snow Friday, according to the National Weather Service. 8 to 12 inches of snow dumped on the Chicago area, crippling travel Friday morning.
I've seen several car crashes.
Nearly 1,000 flights were canceled into or out of Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, according to FlightAware. In-city officials say more snow is on the way, followed by below zero temperatures and minus 20 wind chills.
Our coldest weather of the season so far will arrive on Saturday afternoon and continue into next week.
As people in the Midwest dig out of the snow, the South and Northeast are bracing for a second round of severe weather this week. Many communities in northern New Jersey along the Passaic River are still underwater following Wednesday's horrific storms, which brought several inches of rain. The governor declaring a state of emergency.
I'm just stressed out and worried. Don't know where we're going to go. Very worried.
More rain and strong winds forecasted Friday night in New Jersey and New York, both states bracing for possible flooding, while parts of western New York could see 20 inches of snow.
We are expecting very serious whiteout blizzard-like conditions.
In New York, I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Hello, I'm Brian Strickland from Wilkinson Wealth Management, and here are your stocks of local interest for today.
Well, we are now just 2 days away from the Iowa caucuses. An impending blizzard is adding an element of uncertainty to the first nominating contest of the presidential election cycle.
Fox News congressional correspondent Aisha Hasni has more.
In the middle of a blizzard, through snow and ice.
Do you plan on getting out and participating in the caucuses?
Of course I do. Fox tagged along as these canvassers with a pro-Nikki Haley super PAC went door to door outside Des Moines to make a final push for caucus night.
We could switch to phones, but the best conversations are had at people's doorsteps. And so we only have a finite amount of time. We want to make the most of that. Appreciate it.
Vivek Ramaswamy's camp canvassing and working the phones today, as Governor Ron DeSantis stopped by his headquarters to pump up volunteers and plead for those last-second votes.
It may be as few as 130, 140,000 people. Your vote matters a great deal on Monday night, especially given the weather.
He'll get some more help tomorrow as 47 Florida state officials and lawmakers fly in to stump for him. Former President Trump is set to arrive in Iowa tomorrow to host 2 rallies. His son Don Jr. telling supporters Thursday night not to get too cocky.
The deep state's preferred candidate in the billionaire donor class, Nikki Haley, is surging rapidly. Well, because everyone's like, we're winning by so much, we're sat at home. Like, why would you go out? It's -4. Don't think that way.
And in a last-minute schedule change, Fox is told that Governor Ron DeSantis will now travel to South Carolina right after the Iowa caucuses instead of up to New Hampshire, as is tradition. We are told that he wants to target Nikki Haley in her own home state to send a message that he is serious about beating her. In Iowa, I'm Aisha Hasni, Fox News.
Very windy there, and just about an hour ago, Trump actually canceled both of his rallies in Iowa tomorrow and hopes to be there sometime tomorrow night.
Well, a record number of heart transplants were performed by the UVA pediatric cardiology team last year.
You know, the sky's the limit in terms of how big we want our program to be.
We have an exclusive report on their achievement. That's after your Weather Authority forecast with Travis.
That polar plunge taking shape. Billings, Montana, 21 below zero. It's the actual temperature. All right, we're at 43 in Charlottesville right now. We're not going to get negative temperatures, but colder times ahead. I'll tell you how much so after this.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
Some lingering showers on radar, particularly around and north of Charlottesville. In fact, the rain still pretty steady in Culpeper, Madison, and Greene counties. I maintain that most all of us, if not all of us, will be dry by midnight as the last of this rain leaves the area. Some breaks in the clouds to our west. Clearing will follow. Flood watches continue to be canceled, no longer in effect for Louisa, Fluvanna, and Buckingham counties, and it wouldn't surprise me in the least if we had this canceled across the rest of central Virginia. Again, that watch just in place because it was so wet on Tuesday. Over an inch of rain was expected today, and we've kind of done about half that, which Isn't a bad thing, but it's probably a good thing that we got a little more rain just because it's still very dry across the area. Saturday, sunshine, a few afternoon clouds. Glass half empty, half full. I'll you decide on the icon there, but nonetheless, sunglasses worthy. 48 in Charlottesville and Scottsville. Breezy all across the area. 47 for Standardsville, Culpeper. Orange at 49, Wilderness at 48, Palmyra 47, Louisa 48, Bumpus at 50, and 51 degrees the high in Gum Spring. You're going to the Valley tomorrow. 44 in Stanton, Elkton, Harrisonburg, Broadway 42, Monterey at 40. And 45 in Waynesboro, and it will be a little breezier in the Shenandoah Valley. Plus, skies will be partly cloudy. Traveling elsewhere, you're going to Richmond, 53, 60 in Norfolk, but very windy to our south and our west if you're going down the interstate. Roanoke at 42, and a sun cloud mix. The system providing the rain. Getting out of here, a lot of snow to southern Ontario, though. Snow for us. Our chances dwindling here Monday to Tuesday, friends. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, and yes, things can still change, but many of you are asking about, well, what's Tuesday? Are we getting snow on Tuesday? Maybe a few snow showers, but nothing accumulative. Better chance for rain and snow showers, though, as we go into next Friday. Precipitation outlook puts us on the drier side the next 6 to 10 days out, and temperature-wise, much colder than normal. Ergo, temperature profile for the next 7 days puts us in the 30s from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and barely in the 40s, Ashley and Alexia, next Thursday and Friday.
All right, Travis, thank you for that chilly forecast. Our health check now. Every year, roughly 500 pediatric heart transplants are performed all around the country. UVA pediatric cardiology team performed a record number of those heart transplants last year.
Our Fox Virginia's Sarah Allen has an exclusive report on this achievement.
Last year, UVA Children's had a record number of pediatric heart transplants. Dr. LaCure tells me that just 10 years ago, they would average maybe 1, maybe 2 a year. And in 2023, they completed 18.
We've made it known that we're interested in building our heart transplant program, and we're interested in making it available to children in their community. And we've been very surprised at how rapid and how extensively the program has grown, but it's been very gratifying to us.
Director of Pediatric Heart Transplant Program, Dr. Thomas LaCure, came from Detroit, Michigan to UVA 11 years ago. He came with a big vision for the transplant program.
I came to help with a team that was interested in making it available to children of Virginia without having to leave the state.
Now the program is ranked and recognized for their growth not only in Virginia, but across the country.
On average, it should be about 12 or 13 from the state. Last year we did 18, which probably puts us in the top 5% of pediatric congenital heart programs in the country.
Dr. Gangemi says they're not slowing down anytime soon.
You know, the sky's the limit in terms of how big we want our program to be. We would transplant 30 kids in a year if we could.
And he says these goals wouldn't be achievable without the team.
In terms of building the heart transplant program, it kind of parallels our overall congenital heart program, and that is it's all about bringing in the right people.
According to a U.S. News and World report, UVA's Children's Hospital is ranked first in the state, while the pediatric cardiology care team is ranked 36th in the nation. In Charlottesville, Sarah Allen, Fox Virginia News.
Women who suffer from depression during pregnancy or in the year that follows giving birth have an increased risk of suicide or attempted suicide. That's according to 2 studies, including one published this week in JAMA Network's Open, which was based on nearly 1 million women from 2001 through 2017. Researchers say that women with perinatal depression are 3 times more likely to attempt self-harm compared to women who aren't afflicted with the disorder. The other study, published Wednesday in BMJ, was smaller, but it says that depressed mothers are 6 times more likely of suicide. The average age for women who suffer from this is 31. Some CVS pharmacies that operate inside key retail chains will shut down this year. A CVS spokesperson says that the company will fold up dozens of its locations currently open inside Target stores around the country, and CVS says that it is trimming back these locations based on changing populations and market conditions and consumer health needs. The closures will be made between February and April of this year. CVS intends to close 300 of its stores by the end of 2024. Prescriptions at closing locations will be moved to ones that will remain open.
According to the CDC, about 42% of American adults are obese. People have been trying different ways to lose weight, including using drugs meant for treating diabetes. Doctors have been using these drugs for almost 2 decades to treat diabetes, but with this new trend, they are a little hesitant to prescribe them for weight loss. Eli Lilly, a pharmaceutical company, has recently launched a new platform that connects patients directly to providers who are comfortable prescribing medications for weight loss. Dr. Kate Varney, the obesity medicine director at UVA Health, says this new prescription method has its pros and cons. While it increases awareness of treatment and availability, it might overemphasize the role of medication in treating obesity.
Treatment of obesity, it's not just one thing, right? It has to be in conjunction with dietary changes and exercise. And, we want to bring that into focus too, that it's not a magic pill, it's not a miracle kind of answer. It's a tool in order to help make those dietary changes a lot easier.
Dr. Varney says another downside of using telehealth platforms for obesity treatment is the issue of health equity. This is because not everyone has access to such platforms, which may also come with additional charges that are not covered by insurance policies. She says this can further widen the existing disparities in the treatment of obesity. Well, Grammy-winning pop singer Ariana Grande returning with a new song.
What's also returning are the Emmy statues from ESPN for fake names being linked to their employees. We have those stories coming up after the break.
Well, Fox means business. A new high-tech creation could change how you project your true self through 3D holograms. HoloConnects, a Netherlands-based company, has created the HoloBox. It's a new hologram-style imaging system that can create a lifelike version of the user. The new device has a transparent 86-inch screen with advanced software and hardware components. Users, they can create the 3D hologram image by using a 4K camera. That's it. That can be projected anywhere in the world if you have a HoloBox and an internet connection, of course. Creators hope that the hologram images of loved ones and friends will help end feelings of isolation and loneliness.
Coming out of the pandemic, a lot of people got isolated. Some of them got quite comfortable being isolated, and that was not a good thing. Now we're in a position where we can actually deliver lifelike exchanges and human engagement in different places. Interesting.
Be prepared to spend a pretty penny, though, for the 3D tech device. HoloConnects estimates the 86-inch HoloBox will cost about $40,000 to $50,000. But a HoloBox mini version, which has a 22-inch screen instead, will run about $7,000 to $10,000. Yeah, so much more affordable.
Former President Donald Trump is ordered to pay nearly $400,000 in legal fees to New York Times today. The GOP presidential candidate will also have to cough up cash to 3 investigative reporters after he unsuccessfully sued them over a Pulitzer Prize-winning 2018 story that questioned his claims of being self-made, saying that his father doled out hundreds of millions of dollars to him over the decades, including through tax avoidance schemes. The story also claimed that Trump and his father, Fred Trump, avoided gift and inheritance taxes by setting up a sham cooperation and underlying assets to tax authorities. In Hollywood now, Grammy-winning artist Ariana Grande released her latest single and music video on Friday. It's titled Yes And. The song is the first single off her upcoming 7th album entitled Eternal Sunshine. The lyrics to the song include not so subtle nods to gossip about her in the general media and on social media platforms. This is Grande's first solo album in 3 years.
Sotheby's is auctioning Nicole Kidman's suit from the iconic AMC commercial on the experience of movie-going. The ad came out in 2021 as theaters returned from the pandemic shutdown. People loved it, with fans reciting her lines, cheering and saluting when it was played before movies at AMC multiplexes. The most famous line of her monologue, "Somehow heartbreak feels good in a place like this." As for the outfit, though, it's a gray wood and cashmere crystal pinstripe jumpsuit by Michael Kors. The auction starts later this month.
I love it. ESPN is reportedly sending back its Emmy statues linked to employees who used fake names. Yeah, you heard that right. The sports channel says that the fraudulent submissions may go back as far as 1997. ESPN used fake names so that on-air talent who are ineligible for production categories could still receive a statue. Report says that the company then re-engraved those statues for those who were not eligible for the awards. Wow, pretty interesting.
That's rough. ESPN says it apologized to the National Academy of Television, and they are going to implement some new ways to not make that happen.
We'll take a look at this. Maybe it's not just cats that have 9 lives. A Minnesota dog is back home and recovering after falling down a 60-foot cliff in Michigan on Wednesday. The 3-year-old named Dancer was with her family as pictured on the Rocks National Landshore Park, but somehow Dancer became unleashed and fell off the ledge and landed on the one below.
Yeah, they searched for hours and later gave up, fearing the worst. But you know what? A rescue group was notified and jumped into action. All an ending, a good ending there. Gotta love it.
Breezy conditions and dry Saturday and Sunday. Nothing in terms of significant rain or snow Monday and Tuesday, but much colder days and nights for the first part of next week.
Brr. All right, Travis, Thank you for that chilly forecast there. And thank you all so much for watching your Fox Virginia News at 10. See you back here later.